Okay, guys, so the first uniform what we're going to be doing today is the Royal Marines, or some of you might know them as the Royal Marines Commandos, but we'll get onto that commando part in a bit. They're the United Kingdom's amphibious light infantry force, and they're part of the Royal Navy. They were initially formed in 1775, but they can trace their lineage all the way back to 1664 when they're an army unit known as the Duke of York and Albany's Maritime Regiment of Foot. They are an adaptable elite light infantry force, and they are trained for rapid deployment all across the world. And alongside 16 Air Assault Brigade, 3 Commando Brigade, which is the Royal Marines and Army component, are part of the United Kingdom Joint Rapid Deployment Force. They also contribute to United Kingdom Special Forces groups with elements of the Royal Marines in the Special Forces Support Group, and is a major feeder unit for the Special Boats Squadron. Also, they have sole security for the United Kingdom's nuclear deterrent when it's not at sea, with part of 4-3 Commando, or what was initially known as Fleet Protection Group Royal Marines. What we're going to do today is try and illustrate to you the adaptability of the Royal Marines with this one uniform here, which is going to be them in a jungle warfare setting. They can work anywhere. They are Arctic warfare specialists, jungle warfare, desert warfare specialists, urban warfare specialists, expeditionary warfare specialists. You name it, the Royal Marines can friggin' well do it. So this is a jungle warfare Royal Marine who's currently training somewhere in Belize or Brunei, or on counter-narcotics operations in the Caribbean. Enjoy.
Hope you enjoyed the first segment of the uniform vid, and thank you very much, Callum, for supplying us with fantastic information. Alright, anyway, so we're going to go through the basis of the uniform right now, which we're going to go straight to the top, which is the commando top in multicam. Okay, there's going to be a team here. They are going to be using multicam quite a lot, and yep, that's pretty much it. If you have the DLC for the Special Forces DLC, you can make this uniform quite easily. But a good alternative, I can imagine you can use the Cry Combat Top if you want. Callum, would you have any suggestions for a good alternative if they don't own the DLC?
Oh, I would probably say the lightweight hunting jacket would make a good smock, but then again you'd have to ignore the jungle context of this. But I'm not sure if the lightweight hunting jacket can go multicam. I don't know.
No,
I very
I don't
rarely ever
believe
use
so.
it.
Anyway, well, cry or die basically if you want to go for this build if you're not going to be using
Yeah.
the commando top. So the
Look at
second
that
part,
cry going.
yeah. Well, the next part is the vest, which is a molly harness. It's kind of representing the kind of chest belt kind of stuff they're going to be using. They don't
Yeah,
use.
yeah. Generally, like if it's jungle warfare, you're gonna carry your body armor in maybe like a day sack or something, or have it backloaded in, say, like the CQMS or the BQMS or the SQMS area,
Hmm.
and then it'd be brought forward to you as and when it's needed, or you'll carry it and put it on, because tabbing through a jungle in body armor and helmet is not a pleasant experience. So as he's going light as possible, he's got like this mole harness on, which is meant to sort of be the in-between between a set of belt kit and a chest rig. Royal
Mm-hmm.
Marines, big fans of chest kit from their experience in the Arctic. They love it. I like chest rigs. They're
I
freaking
do as
awesome.
well. I wouldn't mind the
Yeah.
chest rig. Also, the
And
chest rig color is sandstone, by the way, or coyote brown.
yeah, or multicam.
Or multicam. Yeah, you can do
Or
multicam,
multicam.
sandstone, or coyote brown. I kind of like the
Yeah.
sandstone multicam mix.
Yeah. On the back, we've got a camelback, because if anyone who's ever been anywhere hot knows you need water. So
Exactly it. We'll go to the
you need
camelback in
water.
a second. Let's look at the pants real quickly. It's same team again. They're in multicam. You do have different choices here. You can use tactical bravos, or you can use cargo pants, or Apex bravos possibly as well. I'm not too sure if you can actually put them in multicam, but this one we're using the Special Forces DLC as I said before, and we're using the commando pants in multicam. Now to move on to the footwear, you can use kind of different ones here. You can use the hiking boots either in black or sandstone or even coyote brown, or just wear combat boots as well. And also if you have the DLC, you can get your hands on the commando boots, which are basically Oakley boots if I remember correctly.
Oakley
And
boots,
yeah,
indeed. Yeah.
they are.
Which I do not rate in real life.
Yeah, no, but they're pretty. You have a choice here if you have any of the DLCs and whatnot. Now we're going to move on to the accessories part. As for eyewear and face wear, you don't wear anything with this build, I guess. At most, I can imagine if they were doing some hardcore training, there would be camouflage paint, but you don't have to use that if you don't want
Yeah.
to. It's dealer's choice on that one.
Yeah, we left that out because purely that's something that you can choose.
Yeah. Now on the next part, it is the headwear. We have the boonie hat, or the floppy cap, as it's known most among the British Armed Forces,
Yeah,
which
floppy hat,
in
bush hat.
bush hat, floppy hat, boonie hat for the rest of us. Multicam is the color here as well. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's a decent little hat to have in the jungle. Moving on next, you do have the choice of a headset, but you can't wear any of the bigger headsets with the floppy hat, so you can just wear an earpiece, any color really. It doesn't really matter. Hand wear. Well, I'm wearing none of my character, but what would you recommend as a good hand
Uh,
wear?
well, let's put it one way. I'd probably say the Oakley gloves because they were on issue at one time in the British military, and there's probably still quite a fair few floating around in stock somewhere.
Yeah.
In
All right.
a tan.
Yeah. Next, we're on this part now, which you explained the whole having a
Yeah.
camelback on your back, which is in multicam as well, because you always need water in a tropic situation or anywhere that's hot, really. You need water to survive.
Or if you're tailoring it, so sort of if you're mil seaming it and you're doing like a long range patrol, you could have a Y strap, a Rush 72, or a Sapper pack. But generally, they would be in multicam or Coyote Tan. Like I've
Mm,
got two day sacks upstairs. One, they're both by Camelback. First one I got was in Coyote Tan, and the second one I've got's in multicam. They're both mother loads. So if you're going to go with the UK Forces Special, try and get those like Rush 72 or Y strap type bags because they're about as similar as what 90% of the army carry or
exactly. Or the
military
Marines.
carry. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep, that's pretty much it. This is the first uniform down, and we're going to move on to the second one.
Okay, guys, for the second uniform, it's a bit of a wild card here, but hope you enjoy it. It's the Royal Tank Regiment. Royal Tank Regiment is the oldest tank unit in the world. They're well over 100 years old, and they were formed in 1916 during World War One. Today, they're still going, and in 2010 there was an amalgamation of the 1st and 2nd Royal Tank Regiment. It's stationed in the south of the United Kingdom and equipped with Challenger 2 main battle tanks under the part of 1st Armoured Infantry Brigade. The regiment has 6 squadrons: Ajax, Badger, Cyclops, Dreadnought, Egypt, and Falcon. It's the pinnacle of tank warfare in the British Army and the leader in the world of all things tank. They wear black coveralls as part of their everyday and workwear due to a history of oil smudging the old khaki uniforms in the tank, and a black beret, especially for putting headphones over the top of their putting headphones on their head that couldn't fit under the old service dress cap. What we're trying to do is emulate it as best as possible in the limited resources that we've got in the game. Just another quick bit of information: the Royal Tank Regiment has a standing rivalry with the Rifles Regiment under who owns the name the Black Mafia. And the Black Mafia comes from about the uniforms, and the Rifles have a lot of black accoutrements to theirs, but the Royal Tank Regiment, a lot of their stuff is black coloured: black belts, black boots, black coveralls, black beret, Black Mafia.
We're watching that second part of the video now, which is the Royal Tank Regiment from the United Kingdom. Of course, as Callum said during the start, they are also known as the Black Mafia, which is kind of hilarious in my opinion. I never knew that actually till you told it me. So, right, let's go straight into it. The clothing that we're using right now is the top is a jacket. It's the best one you can get at the moment, and I also believe it's a default in the game, so you don't have to worry about any DLC or whatnot. The only thing you have to really worry about is the beret, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So the jacket is black, as they said, because the coveralls used to be khaki, and they had to combat the idea of oil smudges. The vest that we're using is the 511 VTAC LBE tactical vest in multicam. And yeah, then the pants that we're using are commando, but of course you can use any real you can use any pants in the default or the base game as well. where you don't actually have to have DLC for this. We just use these ones because they're very similar to other ones as well.
Yeah, it's very similar to the cut of the coveralls that are like, a one. Essentially, it's a tactical onesie. But this is as best as we can get it in the game. Just remember, like I've always said in a lot of the live streams, when you ask for uniforms and when we create uniforms, we're tied down by the limitations of the game. So this is as good as we can get it. And we chose
Exactly.
the VTAC LBE tactical vest because it's very similar to the sort of tank escape vests that a lot of the guys are issued to wear in the tanks that has literally everything they need if they had to bail out of a tank.
Exactly. And the footwear is just plain old combat boots, guys. So very much
Yep.
there. Now moving into accessories, right? Face wear, no, sorry, eyewear. There's none, but for face wear we
But
have gone with a green
I should
schmag.
If you
Schmag.
want, if you were to say, if you wanted to have eyewear, you could have goggles to simulate you, hanging out the top of the cupola on an armored vehicle. But we've kind of gone where we've dismounted for a bit, so we've taken the eyewear off. And the shemag as well comes useful when you're hanging out the top of an armored vehicle to stop wind chill from hitting your face and all crap and mud and sand from hitting it as well.
Exactly. All right, the next thing is onto the headwear. As I explained before, it is part of the Special Forces DLC. You can get your hands on one, but of course, tank crews, oh, well, I don't know in the British Army to exact, but tank crews usually wear helmets as well. I know a lot of
Yeah.
American Army units do as well, and our own in Ireland do as well. I think we mainly wear berets, though, actually, come to think of it. We have a different one.
The
We have the Glengarry.
Glengarry,
Yeah.
traditional Irish cavalry headdress. But the only reason we chose the military beret is 'cause that what makes the Royal Tank Regiment a unique one because their black beret, which is now the international sign of armored troops across the world,
Mm,
it's something that a lot of other countries have emulated. So we left the black beret on here instead of going for like a helmet, which would just make this uniform look totally different. It's the beret that makes this uniform.
exactly. Also, the headset that we chose is headset A or headset Alpha in olive drab. Going on to next, the gloves that they use in this tank are the Nomex gloves. This tank build, any tanker build, let's just say that, is the Nomex glove. It's the closest we can get. And the backpack is a backpack in, not backpack, apologies, a camelback in multicam. Like the vest, it's also in multicam as well. Actually, what's added in a bit of a unique fact in it, apart from India, British tanks have the ability to actually make tea inside of them, correct?
Yeah, there's a unique piece of equipment in all British military vehicles known as the boiling vessel or the BV, and it's only us and the Indians, and I'm pretty sure the Australians and the Kiwis might have, but I haven't got any gen information on that one. It's sort of a metal box which you fill up with water, and it heats the water up, and then it's got like sort of a reservoir tap, so you can pour water into your mug. You can have a tea or coffee if you're me, and you can put your boil in the bag rations inside it, leave it for about 5 minutes, pull it out, and then you're good to go.
Exactly. That's actually, I always found that as a really, really unique fact about British tanks, that they had the ability to make tea and cook food inside of them. Well,
Yeah, it's one
that,
thing we've got that no one else has.
yeah. But anyway, all right, guys. I thank you for watching this part of the video as well, and we'll move on to the next uniform.
Okay, guys, for the next unit we're going to do is the Special Forces Support Group. It's a special operations unit of the British Armed Forces, and it's tri-service. It's one of the newest additions to the United Kingdom Special Forces Group, and it was officially activated in 2006 to support the SAS, the SRR, and the SBS on operations across the world. It's formed around the core of the 1st Battalion of the Parachute Regiment, 1 Para, a company of Royal Marines, and some RAF Regiment guys who we'll not talk about them. And they provide extra manpower from land and air to the Special Forces to enable them to continue their mission. They have been deployed around the world to places we will never know about, and some places we will, like Iraq, Afghanistan, and they've done some pretty cool things across the world. And when they were in Iraq, they were using American uniforms like the ACU and the DCUs while working alongside American JSOC units. They were working in Helmand Province with the British Armed Forces and the United States Marine Corps Task Force Helmand, and what was the Americans called? Yeah, Task Force helmet and Task Force leatherneck, and they were striking Taliban positions and Taliban head honchos all across the province. Uh, they are a non-badged part of the United Kingdom Special Forces, so they have to go through a selection, but they are not tier one like, say, the SAS are. They've got quite a fair few companies, FSGs, same type of stuff, and they've got an inbuilt JTAC element which comes from the Royal Air Force Regiment. And Royal Marines provide the maritime experience, and the airborne lads from one para provide the parachute experience for the guys. And it's also got a joint CBRN unit inbuilt within a unit, so that's guys who can respond to chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear type incidents all across the world. They're also involved with counter-terrorism in the United Kingdom, and it's probably about as much as I can find on these guys, because just remember, they are special forces, and if they want you to know, you'll know.
You're watching this part as well. What uniform are we on now? This is number 3, 4?
Number 3, I believe.
It's number 3. Okay. Anyway,
Number 3.
This is the Special Forces Support Group, as Callum explained. Quite an interesting group. As you can see here, that me and Callum are both wearing different helms. I want to explain that first. The helmet I'm wearing right now is the ACH helmet, also known as the Mitch 2000 helmet as well. And yeah, so as Callum explained to me when we were talking about it, it was the fact that this unit is still using the ACH, correct?
Yeah, they're sort of, as far as I'm aware, I'm not, don't quote me on it. There's still quite a lot of ACHs floating around in various units of the British military. They are still quite popular helmets, but these days a lot of the guys that I've seen, hearing about, are using a lot of Ops Core helmets, Team Wendy's, Cry Airframe, stuff like that. So what we've done is shown you how it can look with both helmets that I've seen being used.
Okay. The top we have wearing now, which we are also going to go our favorite saying on the channel, which is "Cry or Die." We have the Cry Combat shirt. Yeah, Cry or Die. We have the Cry Combat shirt in multi-cam. We also have the 511 TacTech plate carrier in Coyote Brown, or Coyote Tan, as Callum calls it sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, we have the Cry Precision Combat pants as well in multi-cam. We also have the hiking shoes in black, but they could be a different color. It depends on what you like, really.
Very similar to those Solomon shoes that I would love a set of. So, guys, hit up Solomon, tell him I need a pair of boots.
All right, now to go into the accessories. The eyewear that these particular gents are wearing is the Oakley C or Psi ballistic M frames in the matte black and clear. The next part is the face wear, which is the schmag. Again, it's a green schmag. It's very common among special forces groups to have one of these, I guess, because I've always seen special forces groups wearing a schmag or sporting one
like
of these.
it's very ubiquitous with like British SF from the 60s in Oman, to sort of it slowly worked its way into the point where schmags are issued as standard to the British Army anywhere you go hot, because they're literally amazing for anything. You can cover your face with them, you can make headwear with them, you can use them as a scarf, a sweat rag, you name it. But the shemag is great for, especially if you're trying to emulate these guys, because they'd be like going in a helicopter, raiding and getting back out, so it's good for them to like cover their faces up with.
Exactly. As we explained before about the ACH helmet, or the Mitch 2000, the ACH helmet is quite common among these troops still, funny enough. It's been outdated. We're pretty much the Callum's equivalent of it would be the fast ballistic helm in sandstone.
Sandstone.
Yeah. But with the ACH here, you'd have a Mitch 2000 with olive drab to match up this one. This is what they would have been looking like a few years ago, still now, but they're more commonly to have the fast ballistic helm on.
With the Mitch 2000 in real life, there would be some bells and whistles on it, like some rails, night vision brackets, helmet lights by Surefire, all that cool stuff. But sadly, we can't get that in the game.
Not yet, anyway. Hopefully. All right, next part is the headset Alpha in olive drab, pretty much the basic one, and the go-to for us on the channel as well when we wear our own Task Force uniforms. The pilot's gloves are the Oakley pilot gloves. I said the handwear is the Oakley pilot gloves. Apologies about that, in sandstone. The backpack
Yeah.
is a Y strap in sandstone as well, and
Yeah.
there's no patches on these because usually special forces do not say where they're from or anything like that because it's super secret. But that's pretty much it, guys. So we hope you enjoyed this uniform, and we'll be moving on to the fourth one.
Okay, guys, here's another wildcard one here for you, but it's from a very well-known unit. So this is Mountain Troop of the SAS. Within each squadron, there is a troop that's specialized. So you have Mountain Troop, Mobility Troop, Air Troop, and Boat Troop. But what we're going to focus on today is Mountain Troop, who are the experts in mountain climbing and Arctic warfare. They're trained to fight and survive in extreme conditions, and their skills can be called on for anywhere in the world, from Norway to the mountains of Afghanistan. Each mountain trooper trains in various European climbing schools, such as the German Alpine Guide School and the Mountain Warfare School in a place called Mittenwald, reaching a proficiency that rivals the best climbers in the world. There's quite a lot of members of Mountain Troop of the SAS who've climbed Mount Everest for fun. The guys in Mountain Troop are very highly skilled in scaling sheer cliffs and rock faces, ice climbing using nothing more than crampons and ice axes, Arctic survival techniques, long distance skiing, mountain sniping, and general warfare in freezing and subarctic and Arctic conditions. These guys are pretty much at the pinnacle of the UK's Arctic warfare capability, and a lot of them train with the Royal Marines mountain leaders, who've got one of the highest attrition rates for any specialised courses in the British Armed Forces. These guys are some pretty hardcore guys. They've passed the SAS selection, they've come from their parent units, and they've volunteered now to fight in freezing conditions.
Welcome back. I thank you for watching that little segment, and also thank you, Callum, again for supplying us with wonderful information. Anyway, we are going to be talking about the mountain troop here. It's not from a parent group of the SAS, but it's a subgroup.
Yeah, so within each squadron, they're broken down into troops that are specialised. So like I said earlier, you've got like boat troop who deal with all the amphibious diving. You've got air troop who deal with like parachute and air assault operations. Mobility troop who are like vehicles and heavy weapons specialists. And then you've got here mountain troop who are your Arctic warfare and mountain warfare specialists.
Exactly. Okay, let's go through the clothing quite quickly. It is our final one, folks, and we thank you for watching the video anyway, so we'll just go through it quickly so you can get your hands on this awesome uniform. The top is a fleece in Kai brown. The Tactec plate carrier, or 511 Tactec plate carrier, is also in multicam. The pants are the commando ones, but of course you can wear different ones as well and wear them in multicam as well. Preferably we wore ones without knee pads, so it's your choice really, dealer's choice at the end of the day. Next we have the hiking shoes in black, but it depends on your taste as well about your little bits and pieces, that you can have them different colors if you want or similar. So that's pretty much it for the clothes. Now we move on to the accessories. The eyewear is the ESS ballistic goggles in Coyote brown. The DM scarf for the face wear, we kind of went off the idea that he bought it from a local and just wears on his face just in case.
Little bit of RP, so you could pretend that your group is mountain troop in Bolivia, somewhere in Inca Camina, hunting for Unidad and Santa Blanca, and you stopped in a village and you bought the DM scarf.
Exactly. And the headwear is a watch cap black, very basic, nothing too complicated on this one. The headset is headset alpha in olive drab. The gloves are the Nomex gloves in neutral. And then we have the Rush 72, the 511 Rush 72, as the primary backpack on this, because you are a member of the mountain troop, and it's most likely to be going on long range reconnaissance, so you're going to need to pack everything possible for mountain warfare or anything else, or depending on which group you are associated with. But we are just doing the mountain troops here today. This one I actually quite like a lot, to be honest. It's quite a cool little loadout to have.
Yeah, weapons-wise, we've got an M4 because it's very similar to the DeMarco C8 made by Colt Canada, which is the general weapon of choice that the SAS are using at the moment. I know that there are 416s in there, but the DeMarco C8 is probably their weapon of choice.
That's it. All right, folks. This is the last uniform of the day. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us your feedback down below in the comment section. Remember to leave a like, because every like helps us get this channel growing and more people to notice it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Right, that's it, folks. We hope you enjoyed the uniform video today. It was fun to do this again, and also it was fun to co-host it with Callum as well.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, very, very much. You're much obliged, really. So, anyway, that's it, folks. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time on RTC. See you guys. Have a good one.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy.